Welcome back to Wait, What Do You Do Again? I'm Meghan DeFord, and today we are talking about roadblocks. Thank you for being here week after week. I love our conversations and our time together. The exercise will be in the comments on whatever you're playing this on. So whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube or whatever, go for it. Do me a favor, a couple housekeeping things. If you can rate, review, subscribe, leave comments, send it to your friends. That really helps this community grow. And join me over on Instagram or TikTok. We have a lot of fun over there. It's at Meg DeFord, MEGDEFORD. Okay, let's get to getting. Today we are talking about roadblocks, real, perceived, and the ones that we create for ourselves. An exercise I use with my clients when they feel like they've got these roadblocks in front of them is to write down all of them, all the things standing in the way between you and your goal. Then I have them put all of the roadblocks into two columns. And the one column is real and the other is perceived. So go ahead and do that if you're able to, or come back to it later. So let's start with the real roadblocks. Some obstacles are absolutely real. Money, time, health, caregiving responsibilities, they're all real. Things like discrimination and unsafe environments, broken systems, unequal access, those are real. There is a version of self-help out there that treats every obstacle as just a mindset problem, as if anyone could just build any life they want if they simply believed in themselves aggressively enough. But we don't do that here. We don't believe that. That is dangerous and not helpful. Rest is not procrastination or something that needs to be earned. You don't need a better morning routine. You need better childcare. And maybe you're not afraid of success. Maybe you're just trying to figure out how to pay for the rent or mortgage while changing careers, right? Money's a real thing. And pretending otherwise does not make us empowered. It makes us dishonest and stuck. A real roadblock requires real response. And that could be more resources or support. Maybe it's a longer timeline, or maybe it's a different route. But the goal is not to deny reality. The goal is to work with reality without allowing it to become a permanent verdict, so to speak, on what is possible. And then it's the perceived roadblocks. And these are trickier because they feel so real. I recently watched the Odyssey. I loved it. Go see it. And I was already outlining this episode when I saw it, and I found myself thinking, like, Odysseus's AITI on Reddit would just be amazing. Like, am I the wink, wink problem for ignoring several direct warnings, taunting a cyclops after escaping its cave, getting all my men killed, oops, and then blaming the gods because my commute home took forever? Sir, you are the problem. You caused the problem. And I think most of us can relate to that more than we would like to admit. And it's not because we are reckless Greek kings sailing around the Mediterranean. It is because we are human beings who are very good at turning uncertainty into complexity and stories that we tell ourselves. We hesitate, we overthink, we ask 17 people for their opinions. We wait for the perfect time. We make one decision that doesn't work out, and then we treat it as evidence that we should never trust ourselves again, right? That fear feels real. That uncertainty feels real. But that discomfort and danger are not the same thing in this conversation. And you might tell yourself, like, oh, I can't apply for that job. I don't meet all the qualifications and the skill set it lists. I can't start that business. I've never started a business. I don't have the entire plan. Maybe it's something like, I can't ask for help because then people think I'm failing. I can't change my mind because then everyone will know I didn't make the right decision. These feel like facts. For keeping with the mythology theme, they feel fated. But often they're interpretations. They're just stories that we tell ourselves. And we tell them because your brain is trying to protect you from rejection and disappointment. And it's convincing you not to take any direction at all, to not move, to stay stuck. And your brain is excellent at this. It can build a case against almost anything you want to do. To quote Heather Gay, it will bring receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. It will remind you of something embarrassing that happened in 2009 and use that to explain why it is directly relevant to the one email that you were afraid to send this afternoon. And this is why discernment matters. You have to learn to ask, is this real or perceived? Is this a stop sign or a speed bump? Do I truly lack what I need? doing it because I lack certainty. Because certainty is not usually available before action. Confidence is rarely available before action either. Confidence is built through evidence, which is built through action. Any meaningful life will include closed doors and wrong turns and delays and disappointments and plans that made perfect sense until they don't. And the question is whether you trust yourself enough to respond, whether you're going to pause without giving up, whether you're going to ask for help without handing away your authority. You got to adjust without shaming yourself. And occasionally, you need to admit that Poseidon isn't the entire problem for you taking side quest after side quest after side quest. Sometimes we are the ones steering directly into the rocks. And the good news is that if you helped create the roadblock, you also have the power to move around it, to rebuild it, to get rid of it. You don't need a perfect map. You need to see clearly and honestly about what is in front of you. You need to know whether the obstacle requires support, courage, or maybe just a different decision. Taking action is not the absence of roadblocks. Taking action is deciding that you trust yourself enough to meet them. So this week, I want you to work on that. I want you to think about that. Let me know in the comments what your roadblocks are, if they're real, if they're perceived, how you want to work around them. If you don't know how to work around them, put them in the comments. I'll comment back. We can think about it together. Again, rate, review, subscribe, share it with a friend. Go over on Instagram, go over on TikTok at Meg DeFord. Thank you for listening. In the meantime, take care of yourself and each other. And I will talk to you next week. Actually, we have an amazing episode with Charlotte Stevens. She is fabulous. She's brilliant. And we have such a great conversation about things like workplace, about burnout, resolving conflict, how to have difficult conversations. That doesn't sound really fun, but it is. It's a great conversation. I love her. I can't wait for you to meet her. So I will see you here next Thursday. Bye.